As the ski season officially ends, I wanted to share my thoughts on a couple ski resorts I was able to go to this year and if I think they're worth your time and money. First off, Telluride is known for having some of the longest vertical around the world, getting tons of snow, all while having smaller crowds, especially compared to resorts around I-70 in Colorado. And as nice as the facilities were there, the lack of crowds, and how well ran the place was, we'll say we were a little disappointed compared to Purgatory Resort a couple hours south. I would highly recommend visiting the San Juan Skyway area. It is fairly remote, but it's worth the effort. The biggest bummer in Telluride was the snow. We thought we'd caught it on a bad day with how windy it was, but we came to learn from some of the rangers that this was fairly common, and it definitely took away some of the fun as we couldn't take the higher lifts or even find better snow in the trees. Some of the lifts on the city side also close up really early in the day for whatever reason. On the pro side though, it does have some of the nicest facilities I've ever seen at a resort, and it's a true vacation destination. Also, the free gondola that goes from the city to multiple stops on the mountain is an awesome way to get around, even if you're not skiing, and I highly recommend it. We even ran into Matt Safford while we were getting on one, so that was pretty cool. And last, of course, the views all around were really great. We went to both these resorts in the beginning of March, and our experience at Purgatory was a different story. We had some of the best snow I've ridden in years, great views, and tons of variety of runs, also with pretty short lines as long as you were outside the main hub. They don't have the vertical that Telluride has, but we did have a local show us around the best spots. I really ended up preferring it almost all the way around, and it was one of the best days on the slopes I've ever had. The resort has a much more local feel with long runs, great tree runs, and a wide range of difficulty for terrain parks. The resort itself also has year-round attractions with alpine coasters, mountain biking in the summer, and some amazing backcountry snowmobiling across from the resort. So enjoy some of this footage of my dad ripping it while I wrap up my thoughts on the resorts. The price at Purgatory was also tough to beat, as one of the lowest I've ever paid for a resort as big as this one. Prices change depending on time of season, but we would have been able to get this one online in advance for $85, but with being a power pass, we got it for $65 through a friend. Telluride, on the other hand, we were not able to get a discount through a friend, even though we usually do it at Epic Resorts. It was $209 for one day, which is definitely the most I've ever paid for a day on the slopes. Even if the snow wasn't as good at Telluride, I'm just not sure I enjoyed the runs or the park as much as I did at Purgatory. Telluride's non-black runs were pretty vanilla, while they had some serious double black diamonds. They had a few terrain parks, but just not the variety I was hoping for. I won't let one experience with the snow affect my score too much, but overall I would give it a 7 out of 10. Purgatory, on the other hand, I would give a 9 out of 10, but if you've been to these two resorts, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I wanted to focus this video on southern Colorado, but as a bonus, I was able to make it to Snoqualmie, about an hour east of Seattle, in February of this year. If you're familiar with the area, it was about what you would expect. There was a good amount of snow, but it can get very wet. It's only about 4,000 feet of elevation, and the fog was the worst part. It sounds like that's pretty par for the course across a lot of Pacific Northwest resorts, but it was so bad at times I could barely see in front of me. The runs are fairly short, and it does get extremely busy being so close to Seattle, but there is a good variety spread across the 4 units under one resort. It's worth checking out if you're in the area, being right off the interstate with some good scenery if you can catch it. They also have long hours offering night skiing, which is a bonus, but fairly average facilities and parking. Overall score, I would give a 5 out of 10, as it was a pretty average resort, but it wasn't too expensive either. We paid $89 for an Icon discount, but it was originally about $120. So thank you for sticking around, watching another review. Drop a comment on any of the places you'd like to see me review or recommend. Also check out my YouTube page for other reviews and my travel page on Instagram to keep up with my latest trips.